Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto, and today guys we are taking a cheeky look at Reef Finance, and specifically, is Reef a scam coin? So Chris, this has been a hot topic that has cropped up a number of times on the comments of many of our videos. Is Reef a scam? So we're obviously going to get into this, aren't we, Chris?
Yeah, we are. We had lots and lots of comments in last night's live stream, and yeah, for me, just got back from Dubai. Yeah, met up with the Reef team, had a little chat. I think things are good, Nick. Things are good.
Absolutely. So guys, if you find this video useful, informative, go ahead and smash that like button. Chris really appreciates it. I really appreciate it. And I'd like to think that you appreciate it too. And of course, if you're new to the channel in traditional 𝗕𝗚𝗀𝗃𝗃 sense here at Cheeky Crypto, and do go ahead and subscribe, because by subscribing, you'll be kept up to date with all of the various videos and live streams that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. So yeah, why wouldn't you want to treat yourself to that? Right, Chris, let's jump over to the desktop and take a look at what's going on here for Reef and talk a little bit about whether or not Reef is a scam. Right, so basically, there's a good letter that's been, I guess, handed out to the Reef community, from the Reef team, which is good, right? And basically, they've been over in Dubai for the last few days, just at that small kind of, global DeFi Congress thing, just that minor event. And basically, they've got a whole load of exciting and long-awaited updates that they want to share with everyone, and rightfully so. But that's not what this video is about, Chris. This video is all about whether or not Reef is a scam, right? And it's something that there's a lot of concern about. And they actually tried to address some of these concerns in this letter to the community. So I'm going to go shooting down, Chris, on this particular letter to the questions, okay? And the most burning question that's on everyone's mind at the moment, Chris, has to be, why has the token supply suddenly increased, right? That's something that we've seen a lot. We've been asked during our live streams. We've seen it many times over in the comment sections of our many videos. And it's good to see that the Reef team here have actually answered this. And so the question reads, what has caused the increase in token supply? And they've answered this to the best of their ability, and it makes a lot of sense to me, and hopefully it will make a lot of sense to you guys as well. So, basically, Reef employs multiple third parties to provide, symmetric liquidity to the Reef order books, okay? And obviously liquidity is necessary for the orderly functioning of the markets, as it improves slippage and, reduces bad actors' ability to perform market manipulation. Okay, and nobody wants those bad actors to be able to manipulate any of these markets, do they, Chris? It's an important thing that there is some form of control. So in the last month, we've seen multiple attempts, by bots specifically, to obliterate the ask side of the book, right? Okay, and thus basically depleting the Reef liquidity reserves, and basically this has caused some emergency token releases. Okay, so it's not that they've deliberately gone out of their way to do it. They're trying to prevent some third parties, some bad actors, if you will, from taking, or doing an attack against the network. So it's important that, that these tokens are released to provide that liquidity and to prevent these actors from succeeding. So they do go on, however, to say that this is only a temporary measure. Okay, so when Parachain goes live for taking such decisions in the future, they'll obviously have a DAO, and the community can vote on the decision. But for now, ultimately, they've had to do this as a way to kind of control what's going on. But they do go on a little bit further, Chris, because another question that has cropped up is, will the token supply of Reef change in the future, right? Because currently it's set at 20 billion tokens. And I've heard and seen some comments, Chris, around people saying, they're just going to increase that, and, it's not going to be 20 billion. It's a scam, right? Basically, they're going to drop their bags, they're going to increase loads and walk away with people's money. And they have answered this question as well, right? So the token supply is capped at 20 billion until Reef becomes a parachain on Polkadot. Afterwards, it will have a very mild inflation model for validator rewards and validator rewards only. So it'll be 20 billion as your supply plus the validator rewards, which are, a mild inflation model over time. And that's quite acceptable. And I find that acceptable, Chris. Do you find that quite acceptable?
Yeah, that's an acceptable response for sure.
Otherwise, you'll end up in the position where no one would want to run a validator. And obviously, running a validator comes at a cost. So you'd have to be willing to basically run a loss for Reef, which would be weird. Nobody would really want to do that. Decentralization would then suffer as a consequence. So it's important that those validator rewards are kept intact. So hopefully that answers that question there. 20 billion is the cap, but there will be a mild inflation to help with the validator rewards. So how will any of this, Chris, affect the token release and that schedule, right? So basically they've tried to say and answer this the best they can again. And they're saying, yes, there will be an effect and it will affect the release schedule of the token. The Reef TRE, has been created on the assumption of linear growth. And as is often the case in the real world, this assumption did not hold up. The Reef community has seen tremendous growth and extraordinary demand from investors in a short amount of time. And I think that's quite clear to see. This thing is absolutely an absolute powerhouse of DeFi, and it's definitely going to be growing at an extraordinary rate. So the high demand on liquidity, coupled with the increased scope of the project, requires a short-term TRE adjustment. However, the Reef team do think that the issuance will even out towards the original projection in the long term. So basically, the Reef team do plan on updating the community in the future around token releases, schedule changes ahead of time, so no one gets spooked by it. Okay, so hopefully helps answer a few of those questions. I know there was a lot of concern over Reef being a scam, specifically around all of these additional tokens being dropped on everyone without any kind of prior notice or understanding as to what's going on. But hopefully these help answer those questions. But also, Reef is expanding, Chris, and as part of the Reef team's effort to onboard family offices and private funds into DeFi, we basically they are expanding their team as well as physical presence in Singapore and Dubai, and they are also currently hiring for a BD manager in Dubai and a senior development ops engineer, right? Development. If I can get my words out, Chris, a senior developer operational engineer for those who are interested. So if you're interested and you're out in Dubai, then there's a couple of fantastic positions out there as well. So there's a lot of fantastic things going on. You obviously have this Reef parachain auction, which is now part of the roadmap. And a detailed update on the roadmap will be released at the end of February. So that's another fantastic piece of news there for Reef. And they are also planning a buyback of the token burn shortly after the parachain auction. So really interesting stuff to come. And the community is an important part to the Reef team. They express this within their letter, and they have every intention to communicate more frequently. And that's the main reason why they started this, Coffee with the CEO series. So you can check that out on their channel as well. But basically, to kind of sum everything up, Chris, they are working incredibly hard on the Reef project, the great future that they're trying to build for the Reef community and the Reef community together. It's going to be fantastic. At least I think so, in my humble opinion. But they do value every single voice in their community as well. They're not just doing their own thing and ignoring, the community. They are taking everything on board, and that is also why they're posting the Reef community feedback form. And there's a link to that via their website. So definitely worth checking out if you want to put your feedback in. But you can be rest assured that your opinion does matter to the Reef team, and I totally agree with that. And also, I also want to stress, Chris, that we are not being paid by Reef or affiliated with Reef Finance in any way, shape, or form. This is solely our opinions and our thoughts on this particular project, Chris.
Yeah, we're invested. We invested. Pretty much the day we told you that we'd invested, which was a few weeks back, it actually decreased in value straight after we purchased it, which is fine. We're not here for the short term, right? So we have an interest in Reef, but we don't scare easy. You know, we like to sort of walk through some of the FUD that's out there, and we look for evidence, right? And so far, all the FUD that we've read is just that we can see, right? We'll continue to look and monitor the situation, but actually it was fantastic to have this sent out. I think it answers a lot of the questions. It certainly puts me at more ease, and I think it does you as well, Nick. So overall, we're quite happy to stay invested in Reef, and to be honest, I might pick up some more, Nick.
Yeah, no, I totally align with that. I'm very comfortable with Reef Finance. It was a very modest investment for quite a sizable position, and you're right, I probably will be picking up more myself soon as well, Chris. I think it's a fantastic project, and yeah, continue to watch the channel because we are invested. And if something were to happen that does actually turn out to be negative towards this project, then we are going to communicate that. We're not going to be hiding anything by any stretch of the imagination. I say we're not affiliated with Reef Finance in the slightest. So if we decide to exit, we will be telling you that we've exited our positions with Reef Finance as well. But that for now isn't even the case.
Yeah, and I think we'll also tell you the reasons why if we do decide to do that at any point. For Nick and myself, transparency is one of the key things for us and the channel, right? And the guys that have been with us watching for a long time, I'd hope, or I'd like to think that you see that already. So yeah, I think this is a really positive project. I think it's going to do well. Yeah, stay tuned. And like Nick said, if we find anything that we don't like, we'll be bringing it to you guys.
Fantastic. So guys, if you have found this useful and informative, do go ahead and smash that like button. Chris really appreciates it. I really appreciate it. And I like to think that you will appreciate it too. And if by chance you're new to the channel and you're not yet subscribed, then do go ahead and subscribe. By subscribing, you'll be kept up to date with all the various videos and live streams across the many different projects that we cover on the Cheeky Crypto channel. And with all this said and done, we hope you have a fantastic day, guys, and we'll catch you all in the next one.
Yeah, take care.